This is stew. It's a quick stew. I know it's in a small pot because I wasn't even going to do it, but I made lentils, roasted potatoes with dill, and a fish base. Yes, a salmon base. And I have in here tomato, like crushed tomato sauce, or I guess it's a paste. And then we have a cinnamon stick, some potato, lentils, and you know what? I forgot. Well, onion, garlic, turmeric, cumin or comino, and a little sazon. And I also have, one second. I have something that I want to add that I'm going to show you what they are. And you're going to say, what? These are dried limes. Listen how hard they are. Wait, can you hear? Oh, wait, that's crazy. Okay, so these are dried limes. And what I'm going to do is poke holes in these and drop them in the stew. I'll just probably put one because it's a smaller stew. So this is a dried lime. I'm going to drop it in here and I'm going to pour water to cover it, and then I'm going to seal it and let it simmer. I didn't really know how to let all my feelings show. Y'all are going to like this. See, it doesn't have to be fancy. I should be cooking in a fancy kitchen, but the meal is fancy. So I put the little slices in it. I don't know if you can see that right about there. See, I put holes in the lime. See that? I cut slits in it. So in the lime, when it cooks, it could just like slowly get that essence of the lime into the stew. It's a small pot. Yes, I know. I usually use a big one. Pour a little more water. So you see the lentils, and you're like, what in the world? It's a stew. You know how you eat chili? Well, this is like, oh, and I put garbanzo beans too. I had already cooked the lentils and the garbanzo beans before. And then I added them with the roasted potatoes, the stick of cinnamon, the spices, and the tomato paste. And let me just give it a taste. Oh, it is so good. So yeah, I'm gonna put a little more water because it's looking. I was gonna add a little coconut milk, but it'll change it to like a Thai dish. Right now, it's just like a more of a African, Middle Eastern kind of thing. That is good, girl. All I do is think about stew. And I made some rice over here. I'm going to show you just a second. Look at the rice I made. It's bageli pala. I told you about this before. It's dill with lima beans and basically rice. So good. I didn't put the sazon in it this time. It's so good though. So that goes with that. And then I have my roasted potatoes. I still have more roasted potatoes. And look at this starting to bubble. Bubble, bubble, toil and trouble. No, this is good. I'm using a fork to just, not a spoon, just to like move it around, fluff it kind of, because I don't want the beans to be all smushy. So there's that cinnamon stick that's going to do nicely with this lime. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to add a little more water. And then I'm going to reduce the heat to like, maybe like medium low, or, whatever that is called. Just the flame isn't so high. It's just like a little high. Let me show you how to bring the water in. There's the water. See, I just make sure that it covers it. There we go. Now, I don't measure a lot, as you see. And then give it a move it around. See, so it's a little bit thinner consistency now. You see, you can see the beans, the lentils better because it's like, oh, okay, we're like a soup now. It's like a soup, but see, here's the key. It's gonna cook down. The water's gonna evaporate, obviously, and it's gonna be thicker. It's gonna thicken up. So, yeah, I know you're like, ooh, those potatoes. Don't mess with my potatoes. Those potatoes are awesome. Um, what you're seeing, like the charred part of the Pyrex of the dish, it's just fish base because I did grill a delicious salmon. I'll show you the salmon in a second. Well, I roasted a salmon. I didn't grill it. I roasted it. My bad. One sec. 1 second. So put the lid on this and let it just reduce it better and just let that baby just go. Now the fish. Let me see if it looks crazy. You know, it's all about presentation. It's all about presentation, to be honest. But I want to take this fish out and show it to you. I had it in a container because I already cooked it. It's so good. It has, I put basil, onion, some secret spices that I can't reveal. But that is a nice, oh wait, there we go. It's a nice fish. Let me turn it over and let you see. Ooh, wait a minute now, girl. That's the other side. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I know you're like, ugh, how's she cooking and touching it? My hands are clean, first off. Secondly, I'm the one eating it with my family. And third, who needs tongs when you could just use your God-given hands? And I don't have time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. I do have tongs, but I just want to flip it over and let you see how it was nice and roasted. So I made this in like, I'm not even trying to flex. Probably, well, it's still cooking, but I've so far prepared this in like 35 minutes, 40 minutes. Stop lying in the pot. 45 minutes. I made a stew. I wasn't even gonna make the stew. I actually just had those lentils going for a soup, and I said, let me make this stew. So I started lentils in the garbanzo beans. I'm gonna reduce this heat a little bit more because it's trying to start sticking. I don't think so, girl. So yeah, it's already deliciously seasoned. It just needs to cook a little more. And yeah, so drink the rest of this water. Oh, it's so good. So basically, that was it. And now I'll plate it up and make it look cute. It didn't look cute, I know, but ain't nobody got time for that. I couldn't make it cute, y'all. No matter what you do, sis, I keep it cute, sis. So this is going to be good. So this stew is a variation of many different stews in different cultures. The lentils, of course, that all cultures do, the beans, the legumes, and damn, this was really trying to burn. I'm not happy with that. I'm feeling that. You know how I feel. Yeah, what I mean, people, those of you who cook, ladies and gentlemen, when you're stirring the pot, get it, stirring the pot. When you're literally stirring the pot and then you feel like something sticking at the bottom, do not scrape it up. That's like a little FYI for you that cook. If you can't change the pot, if you've burnt a stew or a pot of legumes, like a pot of beans or anything, but really a stew or chili, if you've overcooked it and it's like the bottom is burnt of the meal of the stew, if you can, take a different pot, dump it into the clean pot, take the pot to the sink, clean it all out, clean the burnt out, and then pour. Unless you could keep it in the pot you transferred it to and just let it cook. But if you are like if you don't have enough pots, like you're cooking for a bunch of people and you need, I need that pot. So you can take it and pour it back in after it's clean or use a separate pot. Don't scrape it. Do not scrape it into your meal though, because what'll happen is you'll put that burnt food into your meal, like the burnt part of the pot. Now, in a lot of cultures, Middle Eastern cultures, African cultures, cuisines, I'm talking about when I say cultures, um, Latino, we have like the pot, when it comes to the rice, when the rice is cooked and cooked, not burnt, but it's cooked to the bottom of the pot. And that goes with the stew too, I guess. If it's not burnt, that's the best part. But once it burns, it's no good. So that goes for the rice as well. If you burn the rice, take the good rice, do not scrape the bottom, take the good rice out, clean the pot, transfer the pot, just so you have a clean pot. And then it might have a little bit of that smoky taste. And someone who's really like, has a very, very sensitive palate, they will know, oh, this was burnt, but it won't be like inedible. And sometimes that smoky taste complements the food. So like if you're making like a chili, like a pot of like chile con carne, or just even if you're vegetarian, you're just making a pot of like beans with seasonings, sometimes that little bit of smokiness, that little bit of charred taste, not a lot, enhances the meal if you know how to season around it correctly. So that's about it. Let Napah cook. This is like the second time I did this. And I like to show, I can fancy it up. I'll show the completed meal on a short. But I like to just show what I'm doing. This wasn't even a fancy thing like, oh, I'm going to now get all my best pots out. I have a lot of course, like any woman, a lot of different utensils. But I was just like, this is my favorite pot, by the way. That pot that you saw is just like a pot that it goes back to my childhood. It's like has a lot of sentimental qualities. And that also can help the meal. That actually, the love that you put into the meal, or the feelings, the good feelings, sentimental, different utensils, that energy, that goes into the food as well. Yes. Okay. So anyway, thank you so much for listening. I don't know who's going to tune into this and listen to all the way to the end, but if you did, peace to you, peace to the darkest minds of the light, and Nushajan, bon appetit. What else to say? What else? Oh, buen provecho, of course, buen provecho. Buen provecho. And what else? What else? I used to know how to say in a bunch of different languages, like enjoy, but bon appetit, buen provecho. That's it. I can't remember right now. It's crazy. Oh, Nushajan. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm not really rambling. I just didn't want to go so soon. I'm waiting till it gets to 14, and it's almost right at 14 minutes. All right, enjoy your day. I will show the finished plate on the short. Shalom. Namaste. Hotep.